Breaking today, President Trump is keeping the pressure on Democrats who find themselves out of step once again with voters, this time on voter ID. The president is demanding passage of the Save America Act and lays out 3 clear rules for when you show up in a midterm or presidential elections: voter ID, proof of citizenship, and he says there should be limits on mail-in ballots. And while recent polling shows overwhelming support across the country for voter ID laws, take a peek at what Democrats say. 71% of them say this is a good idea. Yet liberal lawmakers are still pushing back, apparently against their own supporters, including California Senator Adam Schiff.
71% of Democrats favor requiring photo ID. Is that something that you can support? And if not, why not?
It's still going to be something, Jonathan. It's still going to be something that disenfranchises people that don't have the proper real ID, driver's license ID, that don't have the ID necessary to vote, even though they are citizens. This is another way to simply try to suppress the vote.
In focus now, Republican Senator Eric Schmitt to the great state of Missouri, member of the Senate Judiciary and Armed Services Committees. Great to see you today. So you saw that 71%. I mean, Democrats are leaning in and saying, yeah, this is a good idea. Why don't lawmakers listen to the people who elected them?
Because the Democrats want to have people who are here illegally vote for them. That's the God's honest truth. And I think if 2024 represented anything, Harris, it was a return of common sense. There couldn't be more of a common sense proposal than saying you have to provide voter ID to vote, just like when you check into a hotel or you buy an airline ticket, just to prove who you are. But I think it's really interesting and telling that 2 issues are converging at the same time. This issue of illegal immigration and this issue of voter ID. The Democrats aren't really quiet about it anymore. They're sort of saying the quiet part out loud, which is they want to bring in 15 to 20 million people in here illegally, and they want them to vote for them because they know their ideas are terrible and they can't win elections otherwise. And so what Republicans are saying is, no, look, we want the return of common sense. We want to make sure people are who they say they are. We want to make sure our elections are secure and that people aren't disenfranchised, the people who actually are supposed to vote, by allowing people who aren't supposed to vote actually vote.
Well, another case of rules for thee and not for me, apparently, for Dems. Critics are calling out Democrat Senator Jon Ossoff for asking campaign event goers to show government ID at the door. There are a lot of pictures of this going on. But he doesn't want to require the same thing for federal elections. And last year, when the SAVE Act passed the House, Ossoff released the statement, quote, "This is a nakedly partisan, totally unworkable, bad faith bill cynically intended to disenfranchise millions of eligible voters," end of quote. But even that was a switch up from this comment back in 2021.
Are you open to things like voter ID if, in fact, they correct some of the other issues like early voting?
Absolutely. I think it's right and appropriate, and the widely held view of folks in Georgia and across the country, that we need to be able to make sure we're confirming the identity of folks who are participating in elections.
So in 2021, he did agree with 71% of Democrat voters that voter ID is a good idea. What changed between then and 2026?
Well, he's terrified because he's the most vulnerable Democrat on the map. He's elected in the state of Georgia, which is a conservative state that has 2 Democrat U.S. senators. It's also the home of Stacey Abrams, who engineered this mass mail-in balloting scheme election or so 2 cycles ago, right? So he understands what's at stake, which is if you actually have people who are voting and you require them to show ID that over 80% of Americans support. Like, you would think in this country, we have a lot of things we can argue about that aren't 80-20 issues. This is an 80-20 issue. This is the kind of thing that we should get done here. This Save America Act is common sense. The Democrats don't like it because it threatens their power. That's the electrical cord that runs through all these positions. They want to kneecap ICE's ability to do their jobs because they don't want deportations and they want illegal immigrants to vote.
You know, I always wonder what it's like for you on Capitol Hill when you know people do support something. Like, some on the left are showing support for showing ID at the polls. 4 Democrats voted in favor of SAVE Act last year. And here's what Pennsylvania Democrat Senator John Fetterman, who you always hope has one friend in his own party, said this weekend.
And now, me as a Democrat, I do not believe that it's unreasonable or to show ID just to vote. It's not a radical idea for regular Americans to show your ID to vote. And it's absolutely, those things are not Jim Crow or anything. Of course, that's part of an awful, awful legacy of our nation for so long ago.
Your quick reaction to that?
It's a common sense position. I applaud John Fetterman for having the courage to say it to the face of the other Democrats. I hope more come along. I actually think it would be good for them. It would be good in this country to have a party that's not so radical, a second party that's not so radical as the Democrats have become. But calling everything Jim Crow 2.0 and trying to fearmonger over an issue that everybody knows makes common sense. You have to present your ID to do all kinds of things, to buy beer, to check into a hotel. It's perfectly reasonable for people to show an ID. By the way, a government issued that would be paid for by the government. No one's going to be, out of pocket for this. That's how easy this thing would be, but they don't like it because they know that they want people who shouldn't be voting in order to win elections.
Look, I want to get to this because this is mind-boggling. I can't even believe that we're here barreling toward another possible Schumer shutdown. Democrats are holding up the Department of Homeland Security funding, demanding sweeping changes to ICE operations in exchange. Didn't we just do this? Here's House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries.
Either they're going to agree to dramatically reform the way in which ICE and other immigration enforcement agencies are conducting themselves so that they're behaving like every other law enforcement agency in the country, or they're making the explicit decision to shut down the Coast Guard, shut down FEMA, and shut down TSA, and that would be very unfortunate.
Democrats are now rolling out 10 demands tied to DHS funding, including banning ICE agents from wearing face masks, forcing body cameras. Well, wait, but President Trump is already supporting the cameras and requiring visible ID at all times. Oh, so they do want ID. It's so confusing.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? But here, let me just lay out the landscape for this week, because for the viewers, it may get confusing because there's so many threatened shutdowns, it seems like, every week. We passed 11 of the 12 appropriations bills a couple of weeks ago. There's a very temporary spending measure for DHS, which includes FEMA, ICE, TSA, a lot of things, actually. The Democrats thought that they were going to make this their issue or something. But this is a home game for us. The American people are tired of the 15 to 20 million people who came here illegally. They don't want to kneecap ICE's ability to do their jobs. So we need to say, we're not doing that. And I actually have a proposal, Harris, called the Protect America Act that would say, we're going to end sanctuary cities. We're actually going to increase penalties for illegal entry and illegal re-entry. We're going to increase penalties if you assault ICE officers, and we're going to go after these NGOs fueling this discontent and violence in our streets. That's our counter proposal. We're not going to cede to their demands that are totally unreasonable. Let's fund this last piece of it. And if you think this is, something that you can run on, you're wrong, because you guys are on the wrong side of this issue. So bring it on.
I'm wondering where all the political ads are right now against Democrats saying your only play is a shutdown and it hurts millions of people's financial bottom line. 10 seconds to you and we'll go.
We'll get this done. I mean, look, the Democrats, if they wanted to fund it, it's going to affect TSA and FEMA. ICE money is already from the Working Families Tax Cut last summer. We've already front-loaded all that money. ICE operations will continue whether Democrats like it or not.
Senator Schmidt, thank you for the time. Always appreciate you.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Compagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kayleigh McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.